All right, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Bourbon Banter Evans. Justin, it's been kind of hot outside, so what are we doing today?
I'm glad you mentioned it. It's hot. I'm sweating in a room that's a perfectly chilled 70 degrees so that these bottles don't explode. But how about we do a little summer theme and do a little bourbon and soda?
Yep.
Because this is where pretty much it all started. Everybody was mixing stuff back in the day. Some people still do. Some people give it a hard time. So we picked a couple of really nice brands that are well known for old school mixing, aka Maker's Mark. Coming into the early 2000s, started mixing some Buffalo Trace. And then Sazerac Rye became a thing with a lot of cocktails, but we are doing sodas. So I say we grab some ice.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's funny, you know, I think most of us have been in college or everything. We start drinking whiskeys or bourbons. We're like, oh, goodness gracious, I need something to cut it with. So we all go for a little, soda. So it's kind of funny that we're doing this. I think it's also great because it being so hot outside, especially right after the beach, I think it's a great thing.
So I'm going to do this traditionally too. Now we're going to make smaller cocktails so that we can move through doing the 4, but I'm not going to measure it because typically back in the day you didn't measure, you just eyed it and then you did that. So let's start off with a little bit of Maker's Mark and Coke.
Maker's Coke, okay, let's do that.
And before we do that...
Oh, I think, are you wearing your socks?
I am wearing bourbon socks. And they match the tube of this brand new Taylor shirt.
I know, I like
which this could come into a little bit of a reason for at the very end of the video.
Yeah, that is a new shirt. I like that shirt, especially the gray on it. That's cool. All right, so
and we got our Coca-Cola in the bigger bottle because we're also going to mention at the end of this what we like better with Coke than actual bourbon.
Yes.
Not that I'm saying that I don't mind it. I prefer if I'm going to do any mixed whiskey with ginger ale. Technically.
Well, it also could be because not much of a Coke fan either.
Yeah, that's true. And we even have our nice stirrer, which we had a video before with Alan and kind of messed that up. Speaking of Alan, there are some guys in the background, so feel free to voice your opinions of...
Or, if you need that also.
They're joining us in the background with Bourbon and Coke and having the same thing.
Yes, indeed.
So the bottle will disappear shortly. And if they happen to say anything, by all means, we welcome that. So, cheers. Thank you for joining in.
Cheers. Appreciate it. Hit that like and subscribe button. And also, what do you drink with Coke?
What's in your glass with Coke?
Oh, man, that's been a while. It's been a while.
That's good. How do people drink whiskey and Coke? Give me the ginger.
It's weird. It's got a little put off taste to me for some reason.
Maker's Mark is very palatable. It's weedy. We know that.
Yes.
And it's not overly complex in my opinion. That's not my favorite weeder by any stretch. I mean, this is what 90 proof standard stuff.
This is just a regular
Maker's Mark. I mean, there's so many people that have bought Makers for Coke, and I've been to so many places that have had Makers and Coke. This was a terrible idea for me pouring that much. That is kind of why I'm gonna have to borrow somebody to pour this out when we move to the next one.
Yep.
Because it's already a struggle for me to move through.
Well, and it's one of those and for you, I appreciate you taking one for the team on this one because Coke is not the one that you like the best.
No.
But I'll tell you what, to me it's not what I remember.
So
it's not college what I remember in college.
Is it a summer refreshing way to drink bourbon?
I think there's better ways.
As hot as it is.
Yes, I would say so. Because why? It's cool.
It's
You're
cool.
putting it on ice.
So this is my thought. I'm on the back porch. I just got off of work. It's hot outside, but I'm still on the back porch because I like outside. Instead of drinking Maker's Mark as it is, put some ice on it. Yeah, that chills it down. Put a little extra flavor on it. Bring out a little bit of that zing that the Coke does that I don't like.
Yeah.
But I do like it in rum.
Right.
This being said, it's not my thing with whiskey. It's very off-putting to me.
I'm actually, now that on my third sip, it's kind of like you go through that. Now I'm kind of got through that a little bit. It's not that bad.
Yeah, have we been desensitized from all this neat bourbon and straight bourbon that we can't drink it with mixtures anymore?
It might be. You know what? I think that's a good question. I think we'll find out better once we decide to go to the other ones with ginger and 7-Up.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to make it through this.
No, I mean, I'm going to make it through it. But what I think is funny is we talk about when we do watch the beach videos. Well, we've got a couple of them out there. What we tend to do with the beach videos is we tend to go with a lower proof because it's not as it doesn't warm you up as much. It's not as harsh, And harsh is a very bad word.
This is not harsh at all.
No,
it's just you got to like the actual flavor.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this. I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah.
If we were to put Pepsi on it, what do you think?
Even worse.
You think so?
Yes. So everybody knows I'm a huge Pepsi versus Coke fan, but never have I ever been a Pepsi with alcohol mixtures.
Okay.
I've tried it multiple times when I've ran out of, say, Coke when I was doing rum and Coke, but it's not very good. It's not my thing. To me, it messes up the Pepsi, and it definitely does not complement the rum at all. So I would not even dare. If I don't like the Coke with it, I'm really not gonna like Pepsi more than likely. But I do think, temperature-wise, and with it being a different taste, I can't wait to get to the ginger ale. I think I'm actually gonna like that a lot.
I'm very curious because the one you've always talked about, and we'll get there, is the 7-Up and Sazerac Rye.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm very curious about.
Ice me, please. Thank you. So what do you guys think in the background? Whiskey and Coke. In this case, the whiskey's going to be bourbon, since we're Bourbon Banter Evans. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and following. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. What do you guys think of bourbon and Coke?
Is it what you remember?
It's not too bad. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it drinkable?
It's drinkable for me.
Yep.
Yes.
Was it a little off-putting when you first had the first sip? Yes. Okay, that's kind of where I was at. I was like, whoa, it was a different wang to it to me.
Could you go back to college? Could you go back to college? Now let's just say you haven't had it in a while. So this question is going to be for you guys and Charles.
Yeah.
Could you go back to college bar days, go to the bar, and drink nothing but Maker's Mark and Coke all night like you used to?
No. No.
That would be, first off, I haven't had that much soda with anything in a long time. That'd be a massive sugar hangover the next day.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could do that anymore. So I grew up in a big Crown Royal family. So
Right.
Crown and Ginger, Crown and 7-Up for the most part. And every once in a while somebody would be like, oh, we know you're a Crown fan. And they'd bring me a Crown and Coke. And it was, I couldn't do it. I always said thank you. And I would just kind of mosey on through the bar and kind of dump it and then go get something else.
Oh, I forgot it over there. Oh, it's gone. Right? Yeah.
All right, so now we've done this one before. Shall we move on?
Yep. Let me.
You want to?
Actually, no. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go with that.
So it's gonna, if you do a little bit of 7-Up with that Coke, it's gonna be similar to ginger ale technically.
Yeah.
Because I've seen them do that at the bar where it's like Sprite with a splash of
Let's do it.
Coke on top. Yeah.
This is the one I'm now.
This is the one we talked about before.
Yes, I'm very curious about this because the person that put us onto this is your father.
This is true.
And he loved it, and you were very skeptical at first, if I remember correctly.
Extremely skeptical. We've actually talked about this in a video before when we did some Sazerac Rye cocktails. When one was called a. It's like a mud hole or something.
Yeah, it was mud hole. I think it was mud hole.
Pothole.
Pothole. That's right. Pothole. Yep.
So this I already know we like. So this is Saz and 7. So baby Saz, if you want to call it that, and a little bit of 7-Up. So Dad runs out of whiskey for the day, and all he had was some Sazerac Rye. A half gallon, mind you, that we got from Louisiana before they came into our market years ago. And I come over there, and he's mixing this drink, and I was like, whoa, what are you doing? And he's like, this is incredible. You got to try it. I was like, no, I don't. And mark my words, Saz and 7 is really good. So by all means, if you want to try a whiskey and soda, which is what this video is, for the summertime, that's very refreshing, 7-Up with Sazerac Rye is very crushable.
I tell you what, and I don't know why I'm nosing it, just because I am, because one of your senses is.
Yeah, well, it knows. But we knows everything else.
I love the ginger smell on it right off the top.
Even though it's 7.
I know. It smells like ginger to mine, on mine for some reason.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
That could be the combination of the two, though.
Ooh.
That's just so...
I like that a lot.
That's so good.
I like that a lot.
Man, that's really nice from that Makers and Coke. I'm not going to lie.
That is 10 times better than Makers and Coke. So, tell us what you like to drink. Any whiskey, any... whatever. With what you like as far as a soda, or a pop, or whatever it is you call it from whatever region.
I'm guessing there's a lot of people here that are like, what kind of Coke do you want?
Yep, what kind of Coke do you want?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
And again, 7-Up with Saz. So
but for me, I don't know why, it did have a little bit of ginger.
What's going to be interesting, Charles, is I think we've picked ginger ale on purpose to go with the next two.
Yes.
To do a side-by-side. It's going to be the Control and Buffalo Trace. Do you think they're going to stand up to as good as this Saz and 7?
Could they be exactly the same? Because we don't know what's in the Control.
That's true, but could it stand up, knowing that we're mixing ginger ale instead of 7-Up?
I think so. The one I'm really curious about is going to be the Buffalo Trace. That's the one I'm really curious about.
Years ago, I did a video with the standard Buffalo Trace, and that's what this is. It's not a store pick. Everybody knows that I'm a big fan of store picked Buffalo. I tend to go Eagle Rare instead of standard Buffalo. I don't normally go there. Just the store picks I do. But I haven't had it mixed in a soda since then, and that's probably been 4 years.
I don't think I've ever had Buffalo Trace mixed with a soda, period.
Hey, when it first came out, a lot of people were doing that. Think about it like this. When it first hit the market, essentially it was their mass production branding from the distillery to compete with Evan Williams, Jim Beam, Maker's Mark. That's exactly what they would have been going after. Now, it has kind of changed to where people are more sought after in the Buffalo Trace world, but technically, it was their mass-produced thing at the time when it was available all the time. they were trying to compete to get into that game.
It's funny how things change and how quickly they have changed.
Mass hysteria, if you want to call it that, and everybody has to have it, creates now you can't get it when you want it, but yet Makers is there all the time, and Saz is getting better in our market.
And it's almost like once you put the allocated stamp on that, it's like, okay, now I have to get it.
Hey,
you know?
I remember one time that Maker's Mark was allocated.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they went through their shortage, changed the proofs a couple times. You know, that was good times.
So now, Alan, I'm curious. Ask you this: what do you think? Do you think the Maker's 46 would taste any better than the regular Makers and Coke, or do you think it would be a little worse?
I think it would be better because that French oak is going to yield that vanilla flavor potentially to there. And I'm a sucker for vanilla Coke.
Yeah. So there you go.
Now that's another thing. Put in the comments. Let us know if you prefer vanilla Coke or cherry Coke. A lot of people used to do cherry Coke with Jim Beam, and then they came out with Red Stag, and so that was a huge thing that people started mixing to get that cherry notes to it. So maybe you are like Devin was at one time. He introduced me to Mountain Dew and Jim Beam Black.
Really?
Which is shockingly good.
That's interesting.
Now Jim Beam Black has changed now.
Right.
Yeah, but back then, it was older and a different proof. Now it's 7-year and a higher proof.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. Now you have your vanilla Cokes, you got your cherry Cokes, you got your whatever Cokes. It's amazing the different types you can go and get. Back when, we're old, we go back to college. Nope, you had Coke.
Yeah.
You had cherry Coke. I think there might have been cherry Coke.
Yeah, cherry Coke was a thing.
Yeah.
I remember wild cherry Pepsi.
Yes.
But I never dared mixing it, though.
No. Well, to each their own.
Maybe
right?
with vodka back then.
Hey, hit that like and subscribe button. Honestly, tell us in the comments what you're thinking. Where would you go next?
Would you nose this?
Well, I did, so.
Steve, do you like Saz and 7?
Actually, it's very enjoyable. When the word refreshing still keeps coming back.
Yeah,
it is very. It's a refreshing drink.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's light.
It's light.
It's not overpowering.
No, and it's kind of got that bright note. It's kind of got a brightness to it to me.
I think the refreshing part, other than the fact Sprite and 7-Up are supposed to be refreshing, that's kind of their whole commercial thing, is the lemon lime part.
Yeah.
I think that kind of adds to the. Now, I'm not saying it's going to taste the lemon lime, but it adds to. This is a refreshing drink.
I think it could be a sneaky drink too, because it's something. That's not as I don't know, proof forward, obviously, with the mix, that you could have enough of this over and over and over and not really pay attention to
so
how
this definitely, to me, would go back to when we were making the full cocktails with my dad.
Yeah.
A lot of people do 50-50. This would be an easy one to do 50-50.
Oh, God.
Or go 75-25 and do really heavy on the Sazerac.
Yeah.
And it'd still be very easy to drink.
But see, to me, I'm thinking back to when we were at the beach and everything else like that, lower proofs, and then usually it's rum and Cokes. You can do this on the beach.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
I think that's a very easy whiskey cocktail for a beach.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I think so too.
That refreshing style to that, you could almost feel like you're being hydrated after a while with all the 7-Up. That being said, when I first started doing barrel picks years ago, I would try them every way possible so that I could notify the drinkers what it could taste like in whatever scenario. I remember specifically doing the neighborhood walk with my Yeti cup with 1792 10-year 4-month very first barrel pick with ginger ale.
Really?
And that's how we walked around the neighborhood that night.
Heck yeah.
And it was just fine.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other one. I mean, that's the one that didn't that was the one bottle out of these 4 was going to be 1792. Because
we did talk about putting that in the discussion.
Yeah.
For sure. And then 1792 is a good cocktail bourbon because of the high rye content.
Of course.
Yeah.
And that's but we really wanted to go because I think people have done that more. We wanted to kind of go with a little bit the 2 odd ones out.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so Buffalo Trace next, you think?
Buffalo.
All right, so Buffalo Trace and good old ginger ale. Now, I think you're going to do Canada Dry, right?
Yes, I'm going to do Canada Dry. We're going to change this up. I'm a huge Canada Dry ginger ale person.
Yep.
And you like Schweppes,
I
which
do.
is completely fine. Or Schweppes.
Schweppes.
Uncut, unfiltered. That being said, same liquid.
It is.
Slightly different company, could be a different taste. So let's do a little Buffalo and ginger ale.
Kind of makes you wonder if it's kind of like Heaven Hill and, Buffalo Trace, maybe? I don't know.
Could be. We could try that. I've got the Heaven Hill 7. We've got Evan Williams single barrel.
Nah, let's just do this.
That's a Heaven Hill product.
Yeah, it is. I'm going light on this one.
Yeah, I'm doing light too. That
Yep.
last one took a little. There we go. Perfect.
All right, let me get this on real quick. Oh, sorry.
Doing a lot of switching over here at the table for the
Yep.
gentleman in the
Sorry,
background.
sorry for the little bit of not talking.
So these are mini cocktails. We went to a distillery not too long ago during the beach trip, and they did a mini flight of cocktails, which was really cool.
That is cool. You've probably seen that if you've been on the Facebook page. You've seen.
Yep, I posted it. That's true.
Yep. All right.
All right, let's see what this one smells like, specifically with ginger ale in it.
Yep. Smells like ginger ale.
It smells like ginger ale.
That smells a lot more like ginger ale than.
Does anybody want Schweppes?
I want. You want Schweppes? All right.
You accidentally poured.
Well, no, I'm gonna do another one.
Okay.
I'm gonna do another one.
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what I'll do.
Yep.
Is I'll switch. Okay, that's right. You do. We haven't figured this out.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do Buffalo Trace with the Canada Dry, and then I'm gonna do Buffalo Trace again, maybe off camera.
Yeah.
Off camera with
yeah.
the. With
so
the,
I'm gonna do
yeah.
Schweppes next.
Yep.
This is not a fan for me so far in the first sip. Buffalo Trace and ginger ale is not what I was expecting.
Whoa! It's almost like canceled everything out.
Yeah, it's like very muted.
It's. I don't want to say it's almost like drinking water, but there's really not much of a taste to it.
It's mostly like a weird tasting ginger ale. All right, so
Second drink.
the second one didn't get a whole lot better.
No, it's more ginger ale than anything else. It's almost like it's canceled out the Buffalo Trace.
And that was a 50-50. I did 50-50 on the pour.
I did pretty much the same thing too.
I really don't like this.
You can tell.
I do not
from
like
the color,
this
I'm sure.
leftover tongue feel.
That's odd.
I think off camera, what I'm going to end up doing is trying it with 7-Up to see if it gets better.
I don't think it's going to.
Least favorite so far.
Yeah, this
is my least favorite. So it's right up there with a Coke though.
it's almost a tie. It's almost a tie with Makers and Coke. So if you guys have ever tried this before, if you guys mix Buffalo Trace, if you
Yes.
do this on a regular, say this is your go-to and you mix it, what do you mix it with? What are we missing? As we're not fans of this, and I'm probably not going to be able to fight through it.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too.
So put it in the comments, as Charles always says, he's really good at that, and he responds, and let us know what you guys think of Buffalo Trace and whatever you mix it with. I know there's got to be somebody out there that until recently grew up doing nothing but mixing these whiskeys.
I'm disappointed because I'm a sucker for a mule, and the ginger here is not translating.
No,
The third sip got better, but it's still not good.
it's just to me. I think you hit the nail on the head. To me, it's all ginger ale. There is hardly anything else other than ginger ale. I want that little bit of bourbon. I want that little bit of something. But I just, to be honest with you, I don't think I can go through this one. I don't think I can go
No,
through
I'm
this
going
one.
to have to pour that one out.
If somebody handed this to me, I wouldn't say there was anything in it. It would just
I know. I'd be
foul
like,
ginger.
yeah.
That's
I
what
would
it kind of tastes like. Foul.
That's
like,
a-
it just tastes like ginger ale that's off.
That is a great way of describing that foul ginger ale.
Yeah.
Like it's been sitting out, it's been opened for
We're-
a couple of
so-
hours and it's sitting out in the heat.
To try to keep this as short as possible off camera, we're going to have to start playing with that with the 7-Up, because now I'm really curious.
Got one more if you don't mind, please.
Thank you,
sir.
guys.
Appreciate it, guys. So then,
All right.
I'm almost
afraid to.
I am too. I think I'm gonna go micro on this one.
I'm now worrisome about ginger and bourbon. Like, did the Sazen 7 ruin it for us?
I know, but you know what? We got to try it with the control. Got to try it with the control.
Let's see if the control can beat it.
All right, you go for it. I've got a couple of these.
Whiskey and ginger didn't make the cut,
No, it didn't.
or bourbon or buffalo and ginger. This is now going to be whiskey control and ginger because it is a whiskey.
Just close this up so we don't hit that like and subscribe button. Honestly, I would love, just like Justin said, Buffalo Trace, Sazerac, anything. If we're missing something, hey, if you've done a pappy in something, tell us that in there. I'd love to know.
Yeah, that's all right. Here you go.
Because if you can make a pappy with a drink,
Hey,
I want to know.
and if you haven't seen the YouTube videos of Preston talking about the cocktail that his family did, that is an actual cocktail made with Pappy.
Yeah.
And it is lemon, some water. I encourage you to go and look for that video. It's actually really funny.
That's a very good video. That's a great video.
All right, there's a 50-50.
I am so worried about this one, Justin, to be honest with you.
I'm not looking forward to it if this doesn't get any better than that. That
I know.
Assassin 7, I think, is crushing everything.
Yeah.
Potentially.
I think so too. Oh, there we go.
There's going to be hands all over this video.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving parts in the... By the way, we're doing a lot of bourbon and soda
All right.
pours. That was
So-
a long pause in between words.
Uncut, unfiltered, right?
Yeah.
All right, so got our master's glasses again. Oh no, that bad?
Oh, man.
Oh, it's got an off-putting nose.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
You know what?
Maybe.
The other one didn't have a nose.
Yeah.
This one has a nose.
Oh, yeah. It's better than the
It's
Buffalo.
better than the last one.
I can't wait to hear you
Ooh.
guys' thoughts on that. The nose is terrible.
Terrible. But the first sip's not bad.
No, it's actually not bad.
Smells like cleaning chemicals.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but in the background, it smells like cleaning chemicals.
Yeah. All right, second sip.
Still better than the Buffalo, but it's not great.
You know what? It's got... I have a little bit of the alcohol taste to it, but it has made it... It's made it almost... I don't want to say sourish, but it's made it... I don't know.
There is a sour component to it.
It's on the back too. All right, what do you
Okay,
think?
what do you guys think?
What are you thinking?
Again, Control and ginger ale.
Yes.
I've never tasted Lysol, but I'm guessing.
It's not great.
It tastes like a pickled cabbage. Like did you get? You know,
It's
at a-
not great.
So it
at
tastes
a
like
Asian restaurant or something.
Yeah, this is worse.
Worse, really. I think this is better than the Buffalo Trace and
I think it tastes like something. The Buffalo Trace
Tasted like nothing.
Yeah.
tastes like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tastes like spoiled ginger ale.
Yeah.
But this at least has a component.
this has
of
a
whiskey.
component of
All right, so
but it hits you right
let
on the
me
back.
venture out to say this bizarre truth. Is it just absolutely happening right in front of us that
Yes.
Maker's Mark tasted more of a whiskey in whatever we mix it with Coke? Even though I don't like it, it tasted at least like Maker's Mark.
Yeah, I know.
These other ones disappeared.
But do makers with ginger
Makers and
or
ginger,
whatever.
Makers and
Yeah,
ginger.
if that's
I think
it.
I think that's going to be Makers and Ginger is probably going to be
So
Amazing.
Then
Yeah.
I'm going to venture out to say on Bourbon Banter Evans on this video that it's possible that Makers is made to be mixed.
it could be. What do you think?
Could it be too delicate? And so are we about to be insane for what we're going to do next?
I don't know. So
I
I don't know.
don't know if I'm gonna be able to fight through this.
You know what? I'm gonna drink one more and then I'm done with this one.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Whenever y'all get a second on
If you
this
don't
one.
mind, thank you.
Yep.
We're dumping these also, and we're going to move on to the next one, which is going to be a next one because we've had to dump half of.
So
them.
now I'm curious. Do we need to rethink this? Do we want to do it with ginger or do we want to go with 7 Up?
We're going with 7 Up.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
So what we're going to find out here is that we picked these whiskeys based off of what we've heard in the market as far as people mixing things, at least in the beginning days. I'm not saying they're doing that now, but we went with popularity and in one that we did because it was really good, aka the Sazerac.
Yeah.
That being said, let's get a little bit fancier.
Yeah.
And let's just see what happens.
Well, I'll tell you this. If I'm going right now, I know you. I know that's fine. Go for it.
Oh, sorry.
Yep. You're good. I already know. Out of this right here, both of us are gonna go here.
Yeah, there's no doubt about
If, ands,
that.
or buts. I really think you could probably put this with ginger ale and probably with Coke, and it'd probably beat all of these, to be honest with you. But this is number 2. This is with Coke. That's number 2 for me.
Let's break out to match the shirt.
Yep.
Let's break out and kill the rest of this single barrel. We should be able to both get one out of that.
Yep.
With 7 Up, and see how 100 proof with these versus we obviously aren't going to tell you or know what that is.
Right.
Most of these, actually, they're all 90 proof.
Yeah.
With the exception of we're not going to say what that is.
Right.
So let's try 100 proof. Same mash as the Buffalo, which
Yes,
I'm a
sir.
little bit concerned about now.
I am too, but we're going different. We're not going
We're
with
doing
ginger.
7 Up.
Yeah, we're going with 7 Up. We're going lemon lime instead of ginger.
Yeah. So I'll pour this one, try to half it up
Yep,
as
go
best
for
I
it.
can. And I hope I don't have to pour this out. But it
Oh,
wouldn't
I'm
be-
not going to pour it out.
It wouldn't be the first time, but I think I can fight through
I'll
Taylor
fight
and
through it.
7 Up.
Oh, look at that. He's pretty good with it. So now this is what we're going to put we're taking a pretty expensive bottle, and what are we going to do with it?
All right.
We're going to mix it.
The surprise pour. A little Taylor single barrel.
Yep.
7-Up. They're doing what looks to be Michter's in the background with a little bit of 7-Up. They think they're being bougie.
We are being very bougie.
All right, I'm going to try to
You got it.
measure it off. Bam.
Right there.
All right, let's stir these bad boys. So again, thank you for joining in. What is in your glass? What is in your cocktail of choice for refreshing bourbon and sodas?
Another question I have is, do you really care during the summer? Do you just drink whatever bourbon you want to, or do you really like it?
They want me to prove that they were doing Michter's 10
Yep.
in the background.
Oh. Go for it. All right.
All right, here we go. Hopefully this does not have any components of
Cheers.
the Buffalo. This bourbon and soda was kind of a fun video, actually.
It's been a fun
It
one.
really
Yeah.
kind of confuses you as far as what whiskey's going to do with whatever you mix it with.
And it makes me wonder sometimes, do we enjoy bourbon so much straight that adding anything to it kind of kills it?
It was the ginger ale. The 7-Up's amazing.
Ooh. Ooh.
Guys, I hate to tell you this, but the daggum ginger ale
The
is
ginger
the problem.
ale's, yeah, ginger ale's the problem.
Yeah, now off camera, I can't wait to try the Buffalo with
I know.
7-Up. That
That is good.
Look, Taylor and 7-Up, also very good.
Yeah. So weird. So, you know what? I'm starting to think, what did they do? What is this? It's a
Michter's 10 rye
rye.
with 7-Up.
Is it? Oh, you went with seven? No, not with ginger. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought it was. So it
So
could be.
another rye and 7.
But I would be curious about rye and ginger. I'm wondering if the ginger goes good with the rye, and 7-Up goes better with the bourbons. More higher rye content. Maybe kills that ginger out of it. I don't know.
Maybe I've just been so used to not liking mules that's where my brain went.
Oh, I don't like mules.
But the thing is I really, really like
I love-
Crown Royal and ginger ale.
Well, I love ginger ale. Period. I will
Period,
just
yeah. I'll drink ginger ale every day.
Exactly.
But this is good.
Could it be the single barrel?
It should be the single barrel.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So have you guys ever had Taylor single barrel and soda? If you have, let us know what your thoughts were. Or are you saying that it's a crying shame what we did in that bottle?
Let us know what you think about this video. Very curious if you've done any of these. If you have, or if you've done any of these bourbons / ryes, whatever, with something else, let us know in the video.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you guys for joining in, watching, subscribing, liking, all the comments, all that. Keep that coming, please. It keeps us motivated to keep doing ridiculous things like bourbon and soda for the summer because it got hot today and we decided let's throw some ice on it. And I think throw some ice on it should be a shirt, a slogan for a whiskey company.
That could
just
be
throw
the name
some
of
ice on it. You know,
Could be the name of the video.
Yeah, throw some ice on it.
Yep. And so honestly, anything else, give us some ideas in the comments of what you would like to see us do.
Any content, anything. We've still got a number of videos to go through, but let us know what you want to see done. There's a good many opportunities out there.
Yep.
Let us hear your thoughts.
The more like and subscribes we get, the more videos you're going to get.
This is true. So cheers and thanks for
Cheers.
joining in.